Hey up folks, welcome back. So I'm out in the Peak District for another wild camp. I've got a new tent with me today. It's a Floating Cloud 2. It's made by thru-hikes, who are the guys that make the Lanshan tents that are really popular among wild campers. So we're going to give that a test tonight. I've had a practice putting it up in the garden and it seems okay. The only drawback I can see so far is that it's like a day glow green or yellow fluorescent colour. So we're going to have to try and find somewhere a little bit discreet to pitch up. So we'll have a bit of a wander around, a bit of an explore. I need to eat at some point as well, and then we'll find somewhere to get pitched up and we'll have a look at the tent. Right guys, I've found a spot just at the bottom of where all these rocks are. The flies are out in force though, so I'm going to get it pitched up as quick as I can and then I'll bring you back and let you have a look around it. So that's the tent set up guys. Don't know if you can see it. It's just there, look, nice subtle colour. Ah, these flies. So it looks similar to one of the MSR tents, I can't remember which one. It's a lot bigger than I remember as well. It's a two-man tent, and it's a really decent size. You've got vents on each end here that you can put out, but I'm not going to because of all these flies. It's a 15D ripstop material, the same as the Lanshan 2. Show you inside. Hi guys, it's me again. Apologies on this one. I've decided I am going to bail. I don't know if you can see all these flies or hear them, but it's just ridiculous. I think what happened was we had a massive downpour when I was on my way here in the car. That's then stopped and there's no wind at all, so the flies are out in force. And then obviously putting up a bright yellow tent, they thought it was Christmas. So I've packed it away. I'm going to head out. I did manage to do a little bit of filming with the tent on the outside before I rolled out of there. So you'll have seen what I managed to salvage from that. But yeah, first impressions. It's a really decent sized tent, really well made. You probably know that thru-hikes make the Lanshan tents that are really popular with wild campers. And I'm pretty sure that they use the same fabric for the Floating Cloud as well. It feels the same. It's that 15D sil nylon. The zips are the same, they're the YKK zips, and all the tethering ropes and everything else are the same as well. So in terms of pricing for the tent, just to be clear, I was sent that one by a guy called James at Camperlist, and that's a website that he's set up to sell thru-hikes and nature hike tents and all sorts of lightweight backpacking and wild camping tents. But where he differs is he ships all of his stuff by airmail, so it arrives in sort of 5 to 10 days, I think 7 to 10 days, rather than AliExpress that can take weeks and weeks. I think I waited 12 weeks for my Cloud Up 2, my nature hike Cloud Up 2. And it also means there's no extra customs charges or anything like that as well. So the price you see is the price you pay. So yeah, James sent me this tent to have a look at. Obviously it's been a bit of a fail today, but it arrived with me in 4 days. I haven't told you the price, have I? So the price, including all of your shipping and everything, and like I say, no import duties or taxes or anything, is $190, and that comes out sort of between 125 and 130 pounds at the minute, and will obviously change depending on the exchange rate. So pretty competitive with places like AliExpress, but like I say, you're not waiting that long amount of time, so I'll put a link below. Go check out his website, camperlist.com. Even if this floating cloud's not something that you're interested in, like I say, he's got the Lanshan 1 and 2 Pro versions and all the nature hike tents as well. Right, let's jump to future Ben and have a bit of a geek out on this tent. Well, that was interesting. I've obviously camped before around flies and midges and stuff, but never anything like that. So we're going to get the tent set up here in the garden and have a proper look at it. So I'll just show you first, this is the bag that it comes in. Like I said, it's quite a large pack. It's 50 centimeters wide, but it's like a dry bag. So you can close it at the top and then roll it down. And then you've got 2 compression straps that come over it and clip together. It's got carry handles on it as well. I'm obviously looking at this from a wild camping point of view, and I think that pack size is just a bit too wide. And it's down to the poles there, you know, 45, if not more, centimeters wide. So you have to have a wide pack size. But if you're touring on a bike, then that's an ideal size for strapping to your bike. And if you're camping on campsites, it's, you know, the size is not going to be a worry. But I've separated out, so I pack the poles, the ground sheet and the pegs down the side of my rucksack. And then the tent inner and outer I compress into a dry bag. Just makes it easier to fit in your rucksack. So I'll just show you the pegs that you get. So they're quite lightweight aluminium ones. They've got a cutout here to obviously put your guy lines into, and they're a cross or X shape. So there's 10 pegs all together. As with the Lanshan, they're not that long. They're probably 5.5, 6 inches long. So they're one of the things I always upgrade them. You'll have seen the pegs I used before, and there'll be the usual link below if you want to have a look at them. You get a bit of pole repair as well, and a repair patch for the tent itself, and a spare clip. They're what the inner connects to the poles with. Right, let's get set up. So on the ground sheet, you want the side with the ribbon on it at the bottom or towards the ground, and then the side with the fabric on it upwards. It's a freestanding tent, so we can move it around if we want to once it's set up. And you can see the colour of this. This is why I think the flies were attacking me yesterday. I mean, they were swarming everywhere anyway, but you can get the tent in fluorescent orange as well, and they do a grey colour, so I definitely recommend going for the grey. That's a lot more subtle, unless you're camping in snow or something like that where you want to be seen, or if you're on a campsite it doesn't really matter. So the poles are aluminium and they're all connected together as one thing, and they're elasticated, so as you sort of let things go they tend to pop into place. I couldn't tell from the instructions which way around this clip goes, whether you have the bar, the crossbar underneath or on top. I think it makes more sense to put it on top, so that's what I've been doing. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. You'll see a curve in the poles that's meant to be there, so don't worry about that if you do get one. That's how it arrives. So we'll slot those into the eyelet. Then we can fold out the inner, and it's got the same loops on it as the footprint that you put the poles into. So again, this might be something you guys can help me out with, because the outer's got these as well. Do you put them underneath, so they're all underneath each other, or do you take it back out again for each corner, put them on in order, so you've got ground sheet, inner and outer? Because if you have to do like that, to me it just seems like a bit of a faff, and you've got to go over your peg again as well. But unless I'm missing something, but let me know in the comments. And then we can start to clip the inner onto the poles. It's got these plastic clips already connected to it. Just pulls the inner out as much as it can to give some extra space in there. Then you've got little tabs you can pull to get this crossbar on, and that pulls the inner out again to give you more space in there. And that's what makes it freestanding. So if it wasn't pegged now, I could lift that up and move it around. You can still move it with the outer on as well. Flies coming out of it from last night. Again, the inner, as I said, has got these on it, so do I have to take the pole out of both of these, or can I just shove it underneath like that? For now I'm just going to shove it underneath, because as I said, I think if you have to take those two out again, it's a real faff. So I'm going to put it underneath, and then you can pull this cord to pull the outer tight, but I'm going to leave them all loose until I've got them all connected up. You want to go in, don't you, Ruby? I mean, this fly's buzzing around it again already, so that kind of proves the point. And then you need a peg for your doors. So yeah, I mean, you can see already flies are starting to come to it. Can't blame them really with that colour. All the ropes and guy lines use the same stuff that 3FUL use on the Lanshan. And the zips are the same YKK ones that they use as well. And then the reflective double things as well. So you can just open one side up, or one side of one side. If you want a bit of shelter here to do some cooking, I've got quite a good size vestibule. It's the same size on both sides, plenty of space to put your rucksack or to do some cooking. And then we've got two zips on the mesh inner. So again, we can either just open one side or open it fully. These toggles are fine, but I wish they were elastic. Let's have a look inside. I think size-wise, it's the same dimensions as the Lanshan 2. It's 210 centimetres long, so my head's touching the top. Now if I sit up, I've got probably 10 or 11 inches of space there, so plenty of space. There's a hook at the top for a lantern. It's a big mesh pocket on each end, so you can stuff clothes or whatever you need to in that. Really big pocket. And then you've got ventilation on each end as well with that Velcro arm thing there. So it's 210 centimetres long, I think it's 130 wide, and there's plenty of headroom as well. So if I sit up, as I said, I'm 5'11". Let me get to the middle. I've got basically a hand's worth of space. So yeah, for me it's a really spacious tent. It's really big, plenty big enough for one person, and actually big enough for two as well. The weight's right at 1.9 kilos. It's light enough for anyone to carry really, and if there is two of you, you can split it out and share the load. But as I keep saying, definitely go for the grey one. It's a shame they don't do it in that khaki colour that 3FUL do the Lanshan in, because that works really well in this country and blends in on the moors or in the forest as well, or even just a more kind of olive green or a forest green would be good. Right, let's jump back to the past. So as always, thanks for watching. There'll be a link coming up now to my last successful wild camp in this exact same area in the Wild Country Helm 1, so go take a look at that, and I'll see you in the next one.